like I was saying, what you need to do, and I'm sorry it ended abruptly at the end of part one. Ended abruptly. I told you I got a 29-minute time limit on this thing. But like I said, to get your kids ready, get these young fans ready that are into the new series. Get them enthralled, get them interested, get them to, just talk to them about the original series. So that way they'll have a better understanding of what they're going to see next year in theaters. Because it's going to throw them off, folks. It is. It really is going to throw them off. I mean, like I said, when I saw the live action film, I knew for some reason it wasn't going to be a continuation of what I saw in the theater, what I saw in the show. When I first saw it, and I saw the beginning, it clicked right in my head that this is going to basically be an origin story. And it was. But like I said, the things that threw me off that were different from the cartoon was you had human foot soldiers. Channel 6 was Channel 3. Splinter was a rat, not a human, before he became a mutated rat. You see, these are things I didn't know about until years later. And that is why, like I was saying in part one, you need, for any person that's grown up like I did with Ninja Turtles, with the original franchise, with the original cartoon series, they grew up watching throughout the 2000s, well, not just grown up, but was a grown up at the time, but enjoyed watching the 2003 to 2009 series, as well as, like I said, the series preceding that. You need to educate them. You need to get them to watch those episodes to get an understanding of what they're going to be in store for in those theaters. Because again, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting year, because if young fans don't get a better understanding of what Ninja Turtles was about, and of what the 1987 to 1996 series was about, they're going to be confused in more ways than you can imagine. Because they're going to be like us, 23, or at the time the movie comes out, 24 years before. They're going to come out of that theater, and they're going to be like, what was that about? I mean, I know it was Ninja Turtles, I liked it, and everything. It's like, I know it was Ninja Turtles, I liked it and everything, but it wasn't what I seen on Nickelodeon. The April was not a teenage April. And that's what they need to do. They need to basically say, okay, we need to sit our kids down and tell them what they're going to be in store for. Because believe me, if you want them to do what we did 23 to 24 years ago, when the movie does come out, because it will be 24 years, I would not want to be you. Me, if I was to go see the movie with my nephew and his family, I want to go see the movie and enjoy it and not have to be answering a lot of questions. That's just my opinion, folks. I mean, because honestly, when I saw how the movie is going to be done, and I see what's being on Nickelodeon, I mean, I understand Nickelodeon owns the franchise for right now. They own it. And they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. I mean, there's a lot of fans that are hoping they find a way to stay true to the series in some way by adding in characters from the previous incarnations, even if they're teenage versions. Like Irma, they want to see a teenage Irma if they have to. Or Casey Jones, they want to see a teenage Casey Jones. And to me, this is, this is why I'm okay with Nickelodeon having the franchise, owning it, as long as they try to, in a way, to stay true to what brought it to the dance. And obviously with the live-action film, that's what they're trying to do, but the live-action film in itself is going to confuse a lot of younger fans that mostly know about the Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon, and they don't know of the previous incarnations unless they look it up, or their parents sit them down and say, this is what it was about, show them the episodes of the 80s, tell them about the comic that inspired it, blah, 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 blah. That's the only way they're going to know, folks. It's the only way. It's the only way. I mean, I know, honestly, again, speaking from experience, when I saw the live-action feature in 1990, I knew it was Ninja Turtles. I knew it was based somewhat on the cartoon, but I didn't know all this other stuff that took me off guard was based on the original beginnings, on the original origin. I didn't know that. You know, so honestly, hopefully kids will have, the young fans of the new Ninja Turtles, of the, as we like to call them, the Nick Turtles, if you will have a better understanding of what to expect next year with the movie. And again, you know, whether you like the series, whether you like the 2012 series or not, like I said, it's gotten a three-way reaction: negative, mixed, and strongly positive. Strongly positive outweighs the negative and the mix. The negative's like, it's like this. It's like a three-way weight. It's like mediocre. The mixed reaction is kind of like this, kind of balancing itself, like it's right in the middle. It's that balancing, like, yeah, you know, it's okay. You know, it's like I said in part one. It's like, yeah, we may not like it, but we understand why they did it this way. Well, the negative's kind of like this, trying to build itself up, but it can't, because it's like, you know, we don't like it. And then you have the positives, like, it's like, stronger, fall, negatives, fall. You know, that's basically what it is. That's basically how that three-way reaction is by the fans. The positives outweighing the negative and keeping the meat in the mix at a mediocre balanced position. Whether you like the series or not, it's obviously doing something right. But the question is, with the movie coming out, will the movie hurt the new show? Because fans are going to get confused unless they're sat down by the family and friends and said, by the family, and like, okay, this is what you're going to probably see in the theaters, and this is what it's based on. You know, that's the only way they're going to know. It's the only way they're going to know. You know, and, you know, again, it's, yeah, and again, to me, it's, like I said in part one, I'll say it again here, it's going to be a very interesting 7.5 to 9 months from now to the movie, and probably around the time of the second season premiere, or the second season's premiere. And I know a lot of people are hoping for big things to take place in the next 2 seasons. And you know what? I may have not watched the series, you know, as much as my nephew has, or any of the younger generation has. But I will say this. If what I've read about the season finale is true, if what I have seen on occasions is good, is true, then the second to third seasons of the new TMNT on Nickelodeon, the next 2 seasons are going to be good. They will be. They have to live up, if not surpass, what obviously the season finale, the season 1 finale, entitled Showdown, or Buaka Showdown, you know, lived up to. They're going to have to surpass that. And, you know, honestly, I know there's a lot of longtime fans that are watching it and giving it a chance. You know, fans that have grown up with the series since, you know, since I was the age of my nephew. And the thing is, you know, I know they're expecting a lot of traditions to be carried over to this new series. You know, I mean, we obviously have an idea that Baxter Stockman might go through a routine that he went through in the original cartoon series. I'm not going to say much about that, except for that. We know that might happen. You know, we know that they're going to try to answer some of the questions fans are going to have, like with, what about, is Karai going to find out the truth? You know, is Donatello going to finally confess, if not already, how he truly feels about April? Is it going to be a 3-way triangle between Donnie, April, and Casey? You know, is Irma going to show up? Is Vern going to show up in teenage form? We don't know. You know, some fans are even petitioning to have Mona Lisa show up. Maybe even Ninjara, Yumiko, or Venus. They're hoping for those characters to show up eventually. So who knows? Maybe Nick's going to do that in the next, Nickelodeon will do that in the next 2 years. We can't say. In the next 2 seasons, we can't say. And I'm sure a lot of fans are hoping for a tradition that's been shown in the other 2 animated incarnations of Ninja Turtles. That tradition is having April be mutated. That's right. There's going to be a lot of longtime fans that are watching this show, giving it a chance, maybe having that mixed reaction. They're like, okay, if they are going to do this with Baxter, like if they're going to do to Baxter what was done to him in the original 80s series, 80s to 90s series, then they got to do to April what was done in that 80s to 90s series, as well as the 2003-2009 series, mostly the last season, and they've got to mutate her in some ways. They've got to do something with her. And who knows what they might do. I'm sure a lot of people are guessing they're probably going to finally do what they've been wanting to see done. They're going to probably mutate her into a turtle if on a temporary basis, and that might lead into her having a relationship with Donatello. Who knows? They might, honestly, heck, who knows? They might mutate her into a goop, they might mutate her into a slime girl for all we know. To where she's completely made of slime or liquid and she could shape-shift into different objects or bond with water or, kind of liquefy herself into a melted puddle or whatever they'll do. But, the things like that is what people would hope gets carried on to that tradition of April being mutated if Nickelodeon does that. If the creators of the new series go in that direction and say, okay, we're going to take what was done, we're going to let's mutate April or transform April into such and such things, and we're going to put it into this new series. The question is how they're going to do it and when is up in the air. But I know that's another thing fans would expect to happen. Like I said, they're expecting and pretty much know that what's going to happen to Baxter is exactly what happened to him in the original 80s to 90s cartoon is going to happen here. They pretty much know we might get the Technodrome back again. That's a tradition. It's all these different things. And again, this is what makes the next 2 seasons have to, in my opinion, even though I've not seen the series, this is what makes these next 2 seasons have to surpass the season finale of season 1, the season 1 finale. They have to, all these elements, all these things I've talked about are what's going to have to make the next upcoming 2 seasons hopefully surpass what the season 1 finale, the standard the season 1's finale set. That's what it's got to do. It's got to surpass that. And by doing so, it's got to create enough hype for people wanting to go see, for people that want to go, for fans, young and old, that want to go see the movie. And hopefully maybe pay homage to the original incarnations to the point that even with family and friends that have grown up with the original incarnations can finally help give that younger generation that's more into the Nickelodeon version a better understanding of what they're going to see. Maybe during the next 2 seasons, maybe Nickelodeon will say, you know what, let's put the original cartoon series on here, so that way these young fans will have an understanding of what they're going to see in theaters. Which to me would be a great idea. And who knows, maybe they'll do a crossover movie, just like they did for the finale of the 2003-2009 series. Maybe they'll do another Turtles Forever film, where it's, the old, and instead of just, okay, the 2003 Turtles meeting the 80s Turtles and the Prime Turtles, maybe you can have a full-way crossover. You can have the Nick Turtles meeting the 2003, meeting the 80s, meeting the Prime. I mean, what better way for that to be? And you can have all the villains combined, all the Shredders, all the Krangs. I mean, to me, that would really get people hyped up for the movie. And like I said, maybe they'll do that. We don't know. But again, these next 2 seasons, with everything I talked about, people are expecting to happen and are hoping to see happen, are basically what's going to determine whether or not these next 2 seasons surpass the standard the season 1 finale set. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm sorry this TMNT discussion went in 2 parts. I apologize, but let me know what you guys think down below. Take your time watching this, and I'll talk to y'all later.